So, whether you want an armchair virtual tour or you're actually planning your trip to Ayutthaya, this video will improve your experience. I guarantee it. Stay with me and enjoy this amazing trip through Ayutthaya. So historians estimate that by the year 1767, there were more than 400 temples in and around Ayutthaya. For more than 400 years, Ayutthaya was a sophisticated city with glittering palaces. It was the absolute hub of the Siam kingdom. It was one of the #1 cities in the world for global trading, and it was one of the largest cities in the world at the time. So Ayutthaya is only about an hour and a half's drive in a taxi or a minivan from Bangkok. But I gotta tell you, don't do that. The most authentic way to get to Ayutthaya is to take the historic train from the very historic train station right here in Bangkok. Your experience will be tenfold better if you do that. So check it out, take the historic train, take it from Hua Lamphong Station. You'll thank me for that, I guarantee you. So this was my third visit to Ayutthaya, and I was actually here in 2019 with my son Ian, who is in this picture. So when you exit this station, you're going to be greeted by many tuk-tuk drivers who want to be your tour guide for the entire day. So directly across the street from the train station, you can walk down that street, and at the end of the street, you can get on this little boat for 10 baht, which is, you know, like very small money, and you can cross this river and it'll take you right into where you can begin your journey in Ayutthaya.
Yeah, see here, a big one.
That thing is huge.
Yeah, it's very big, huh?
He's so pretty though.
Yeah,
That looks like a crocodile.
yeah, but it's not.
So on this particular visit to Ayutthaya, I arrived midday on the train from Bangkok, and I arranged a canal tour so I could actually see this particular sunset view over the temples. Easy to do. You'll see opportunities to do that just walking around. I highly recommend you do this. About $30 US. So once in Ayutthaya, you'll see these handy maps posted on billboards and all around the city. So as I said earlier, I've done Ayutthaya now 3 different times. I don't see how it's possible that many people drive up and then do Ayutthaya in a day and then drive back. Many do it, but I don't see how you can enjoy Ayutthaya the way you should just in one day. You really should stay 1 or 2 different nights. So stay with me as we begin our first temple visit in just a minute. So this was an unbelievably long barge, apparently moving coal down the river to Bangkok, which is apparently used for electricity. So I was shocked at how long this thing really was.
She's throwing the water.
So because of the amazing history of Wat Mahathat and the Buddha head in the tree, it's super popular. So I recommend you start your visit early here to have it like I did, all to myself.
Is that the Buddha head?
So as I mentioned earlier, I chose to start my Ayutthaya temple journey here because I know that this particular temple gets really busy later. That Buddha head that's in the tree, for some reason, draws a lot of attention to this temple. So if you get here early in the morning, you'll have it all to yourself, or at least close to all to yourself. But this particular temple is quite famous in Ayutthaya and in Thailand. It once was the site of royal ceremonies. It houses one of the Buddha's holy relics, one of the most historically significant temples during its time. And you got to visit this one, especially this temple. Its ancient monastery was once considered the spiritual heart of Buddhism in the kingdom of Ayutthaya. And it's really special, so you don't miss this temple. This particular temple was significantly affected by, major fires, a lot of decay over the many, many years, and of course, foreign invasion by the Burmese since its original construction in the year 1374. So it's been around a long time. It's seen a lot of things. Many people who visit Ayutthaya, they hire one tuk-tuk or a small little taxi, three-wheel taxi, to get them around. And that tuk-tuk stays with them the whole entire day and waits for them while they tour each temple. And, if you are limited in your mobility and whatnot, I think that might be a good idea. But it does take away from some of the unique experience of being able to walk from temple to temple or take a bicycle, and you're going to see a lot of little things that you won't see by taking a bicycle or walking. Of course, if you can't do that, you just can't do that. So after you've enjoyed Wat Mahathat, you can enjoy this really nice walk, or if you're on a bicycle, you can bike through these trails to Wat Phra Si, which is your next temple. And they're very close to each other, and the walkway through the park is absolutely amazing. And if you're doing a tuk-tuk ride or you're in a taxi, you're going to miss this. So this is why I suggest you do it through either a walk or a bicycle, because this is really spectacular. So hope you enjoy this. So as you can see, the bike paths here are actually quite impressive and very organized. And I've been here 3 times now, and they continue to get better every time I get here. So anyway, use the bike paths, walk on them or bike, and it's the easiest, best way to get around the temples. So in addition to temples, Ayutthaya is very famous for elephants. And you're going to see these guys everywhere you walk, everywhere you go in Ayutthaya, walking the streets. So elephant riding in Thailand is considered to be very controversial, and you should do your research and make an informed decision before you decide to ride on an elephant. So this particular temple was built on the cremation site for the very first Ayutthaya king. It's kind of a swampy area, which they've turned into like a beautiful, like nature pond area. It's really beautiful to walk through here. And it was constructed sometime between the years 1369 and 1434. But really beautiful place to walk and enjoy the birds. So this is my 3rd time here at Ayutthaya, and I gotta be honest with you, every time I come here I discover new things, and it never fails to impress me. But what's really cool is if you come here in the morning, I mean, you can have one whole temple all to yourself, and you can just enjoy the birds, and it's just such a beautiful place. So, and there's much more to Ayutthaya than just temples. In fact, you know, don't miss a chance to ride out on the canal boats and just get a taste of, you know, the flavor of the food here, and try some river prawns. I mean, it's just a cool place, really cool place. So here is one of the very few heads that still remain at Ayutthaya. You can see the Burmese really destroyed a lot of these Buddhas, and most of the heads are missing. Here's one that's left over. So the big question is, why did the king and citizens of Ayutthaya at that time build such amazing temples? You know, what was the purpose? What was the motivation? So what I've learned is that by building temples and offering valuables, a king and his people could acquire religious merit. The concept of merit was based on the law of karma. It was actually the basis for the entire kingship. By constructing a temple, that was regarded as highly meritorious and brought the king the most merit. And by continuing to build temples and offer valuables, in a way it would guarantee him a very good life in his next life. Even in today's modern times, the act of making merit, as it's known, is actually central to Buddhist culture. It's very interesting. This particular temple was once considered the holiest temple in the entire Ayutthaya kingdom. It was a very grandiose temple built right on the grounds of the royal palace. And, you know, it was really grand, opulent. There was once a giant golden Buddha, 24 meters high. And of course, around that were 3 different chetties. The ashes of several Ayutthaya kings were here. And unfortunately, in 1767, the Burmese found this to be an ideal place to completely destroy. So just a short walk away is this chapel, which houses one of the largest bronze Buddhas that you'll ever see. It's 13 meters high and 10 meters wide and has an amazing history to it. So be sure to visit this. Be sure to learn about the history going back to the lightning strikes and the Burmese invasion. This has a really interesting story. On this adventure, I had a really good night. I spent the night at this little cute homestay. Great place. Could walk to everything from here. So a midday visit to the Chao Phraya National Museum will allow you to escape the midday heat and also allow you to understand the history of Ayutthaya in a much more better format. And you get a chance to see all the gold that was discovered hidden in these crypts. I mean, this was one of my highlights of the day. So spend an hour and a half here and enjoy getting cooled off. And this is a really well put together place. So after you've recharged and explored this amazing museum, now you want to make your way over to Wat Chai, where you can really explore. I mean, this is really amazing. It's over on the canal. This is where you want to catch the sunset, probably where you want to end your day. And this is spectacular. So enjoy the sunset over here and really have a great day. So Wat Chai was built in about 1630, directly on the banks of the Chao Phraya River. What's unique about this particular temple is that it wasn't even recognized in modern days until like 1987. No one cared about it. It was left for looters and people just sort of took what they could and no one cared about it. And then in 1987, people started to recognize its beauty and its majesty, and they started to restore it. And now it's clearly one of the most famous temples in all of Ayutthaya. In fact, it was modeled and fashioned when it was built after Angkor Wat in Cambodia, which I think makes it extremely unique. And by the way, this is where you want to see the sunset. So you should know that when you approach each temple, you have to pay to get inside to have a look around. And the cost for most temples is about 50 Thai baht for foreigners, which is about $1.50 per person for foreigners. And in my opinion, well worth the money. Thai people get a reduction from that. So if you've been to Ayutthaya, I hope you'll tell me in the comments what your favorite experience was. And I hope you'll give this video a like, and I really appreciate and am glad you joined me today.